and welcome to the 7th episode of the Magenta show. Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. I am so thrilled because I have got Janet Rouss as our special guest here. And honestly, guys, you are not going to want to turn away from this show, and you're going to want to share it because I've just met Janet for the first time today. And I've been learning so much already from you, and you've just had the most incredible experience. And she has asked a very specific question to have her color reading halfway through the show. So you don't want to be missing this. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Moira. It's lovely to be here and lovely to be here with your audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, guys, so remember how this goes. First of all, if you love what you see and you enjoy the information, share. Not just today. Come back during the week, find the live feed, and please share it again and pop it right back up on the news feeds so that more people can get to meet and experience the fabulousness that is Janet, okay? And of course our colors, because I love the colors. And then for you, my audience, darlings out there, you remember how this works. You have to pick 1, 2, or 3. See which one are you drawn to, 1, 2, or 3. Pop it in the comments box. I always go back to see who picked what, okay? I always go and check who's picked 1, 2, or 3. It kind of gives me a feel as to how you're progressing, okay? Especially for those mentees on my mentoring programs. Come on, guys, put in 1, 2, or 3 and tell me which one are you drawn to for this week, okay? And at the end of the show, I'm going to reveal a color that's associated with that number and give you a little guided message, okay? We got a deal? We got a deal. Okay, good. Right, so
sounds good to me.
So this is all new to you, all this color stuff.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. They're so beautiful, and they feel like they have deep meaning. And I'm all about the deep meaning. So so excited to learn.
So first of all, I just want to say to the audience that you've written a book, and I got my hands on a copy, and of course, you know what I'm like. I kind of flip open and find something, and then I think, oh, there's a reason I opened it at this page. And the page in your book is called Courage, Freedom, and Happiness, Life Hacks from a Digital Nomad.
And that's the story.
And that's the story. And you also help other people, and this is the important part about this interview today, guys. You've got to write down Janet's details. She also will help you write a book like this and get to the #1 on Amazon.
Oh, yes.
That's what you said, right?
Absolutely, yeah, I can do that. That's what I do for my clients. So
why did you write this book?
I went on an adventure, and actually I started telling people started asking me about what happened, and then as months and weeks went by after I returned home and people asked me questions, I forgot. Like I started losing those memories, and I thought desperately, like, I can't lose these memories. They were so valuable, and so much learning came through that travel that I just started writing my memoirs. Like I just started writing, and then I thought, you know what? Somebody might want to read this book. So I ended up writing it as a book and putting in lessons that I learned and insights that I had during my year of travel. And it turned into a book, and it became #1 bestseller on Amazon. So it was
on the
so
back,
exciting.
The back quite sums it up quite nicely. Don't quit your job, work and travel at the same time. Do you get that, guys? Don't quit your job, work and travel at the same time.
Yeah.
Join this digital nomad for 365 days, traveling over 92,000 kilometers on 37 flights, 18 buses, 12 trains, and 6 ferries to 21 countries, all while she runs her business remotely.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Yeah.
And when did you actually do this trip?
I left July of 2016, and I came home at the end of July 2017. So it's just been a year since I've been back. And I started writing the memoir in December of last year and published in February.
My word. And of course the page I opened it up to, Transylvania Express bus. You went to Dracula's castle, and I believe there's a photograph of you and Dracula.
That was Halloween. We went to celebrate Halloween in Dracula's castle. Yeah.
My goodness. Okay, so how does it work? How do you go on holiday and you work? How does it? What's the premise of this organization?
I think that the premise is that it's not a holiday.
It's not a holiday.
not a holiday, and people often think, "Oh yeah, you were on holiday," but in fact, you're working. And I work from my home, as many of your audience, I'm sure, do. If you're entrepreneurs, you know what that's like, being isolated in a room in your house, and you think, "I have internet, I can do this anywhere." So the company Remote Year, and you'll find them at remoteyear.com, they organize trips of 4 months, 12 months. So people can actually do their work, but they can be in other places in the world. So you still can work 9 to 5 or whatever your job requires, or your business requires. You have the flexibility to, if you have that flexibility of time, you can go and work in Europe. And if you're on Eastern time, you take the mornings off.
I love it.
If you're at, East Coast time, everybody starts work 7 hours later, so you start work at 3.
Yeah.
So you have an entire day to adventure. You have an entire day to do whatever you want to do.
Wow.
And then on your weekends, you don't go up north, or you don't go, out with your friends. You go out and see these incredible places and experience these wonderful environments.
So what were the top countries that you went to?
Oh, everybody asks that question.
I know, it's a good
so
one.
hard to respond to. I mean, I always love my first country, Portugal. We spent a month in Lisbon, and it was absolutely fabulous. I love that. Morocco, I had kind of a love-hate relationship because it was so exotic and so exciting, but so uncomfortable in a lot of ways. Prague was beautiful, the Czech Republic, Croatia, did Eastern Europe. And then we went down to South America, where I've never been before, and I was so excited. Colombia is such a beautiful, beautiful place. And yeah, I did side trips, and I would say one of my most epic trips was going to the Galapagos Island and going scuba diving there. So. And
did you take a break during all of it, or were you committed the whole year to just do the program?
The whole year I did the program. In May, I was in, the group was in Lima, Peru, and Machu Picchu was over there, which was number 1 on my bucket list. Bolivia was a trip that some of the other remotes organized, so we took some time there, and I did Galapagos, and I did the Amazon, so that was really a month for me. That was a vacation.
That was so you see, it is work and play.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for this little South African girl at heart here, because I was born in South Africa, you have a little love affair with South Africa as well.
I do. I've been invited to speak there. So I speak on branding and marketing for my business. And I've been going to South Africa for the last 3 years in October for a conference.
Okay.
It's called ACRI, and it's a group of people that are promoting creativity and innovation and thinking differently and changing the world to be a better place. So really excited to be part of that.
What do you think of South Africa? What is your feeling when you're there?
I feel like I'm home. Like there's something about it that just gets in my bones. It's the birthplace of humanity, right? Like it really is. It's a very visceral experience. So I love it. I love it. I love the people. I love the environment, the nature, and
there is definitely
animals.
There's something very coppery and grounded about it. So when you get there, it kind of sinks in your bones, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yeah.
Oh my goodness me. Well, I'm a little bit kind of blown away by all this traveling you've done, because I've always seen myself as a bit of a traveler and a nomad, and you've really 21 countries in 21 cities or
it was
places
exhausting.
in 1 year is just unbelievably.
It was exhausting in an exhilarating way. I actually came up with a new word. It's called exhilarosted.
We might be having a few technical issues. I just want to check in with producer. Are we okay, or are we still live? Or he says we're still live. Okay, he's kind of flirting around the cameras. Okay. Because we're live and it's not a recorded show, we sometimes just have a few hiccups with
and we're working
system.
with Spirit, so they always like to mess with technology, right?
I know. But they also give us signs and symbols and information on technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
if we open up to it, we get it, don't we?
Yeah. They're trying to tell us to just talk about Spirit, maybe.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to, well, I felt like it was the right time to talk about the title of my book, because it really, the book is about sharing not only my journey with the travel, but it was really sharing the inner journey of what happened to me. And I've studied spiritual laws for 17 years. So I'm very curious about, what's happening and why I'm doing this and what's going on inside of me as I go through these challenges. And it wasn't all fun and games, right? Like it was living in discomfort for a long time.
Do you know, that is exactly where I get so stuck with the programs I do, because just when the discomfort sets in, when we're looking at our shadow, we're looking at our darker side, that is when we mostly turn away and go, that's not me.
Exactly.
Or we blame our teachers, we blame our courses, we blame others, people are to blame for it, and we don't own it. Very few people make that breakaway, and then they can only earn at that point in time what you've written about here, which is courage, freedom, and happiness.
And it's baby steps. Courage is something like it's a muscle. You have to exercise it. So sometimes we take on projects that are so monumental that we just scurry away in fear because it's too much. So I encourage people, and I did this through my trip as well, is to take little baby steps further and further out of my comfort zone, further and further out of to do things I would never have done. And it certainly helped having the support of the community that I traveled with. There was 70 of us that traveled together for an entire year. And I was the oldest, and there was a lot of really young and, energized people, and I was trying to keep up. And so courage was something that, it's like a little bit, you push a little bit outside so you become a little reckless, because I always say, like, lack of courage is like a cowardice, but an overabundance of courage is recklessness. So you kind of have to do the safe kind of moving forward, pushing the edges a little bit. And when you get through that, that boundary, there's so much freedom there. There is so much freedom. And oftentimes people feel almost afraid of having too much freedom, but in fact there never is ultimate freedom.
No, there isn't. And I mean, that's the path to happiness. And what I found is, with courage, you have that very key moment where it's almost like giving birth to yourself again. It's rebirthing yourself. You're in those labor pains, and you can either now go, okay, cut this thing out of me, or I'm just going to keep it inside of me, or I'm not going to push it out of me. You have all these choices, and it's that courage that you have. Am I going to give birth to this new me? And but you have to go through the ugliness of birth. You have to look at yourself, from that perspective. And when you push through, and you come out on the other side, and you're reborn, it's glorious. It is in that's the kind of freedom. I've had several rebirths in the soul searching and self-development work, spiritual work I've done on myself, and every time it gets to a feeling of, you first feel like you want to become you want to constrain yourself, you want to contract yourself, like you have contractions in birth, and it calls on huge courage, and it has called on huge courage for me to keep going, even when at the face of it everything seems to be rejecting this new you that wants to come out, and there's this wanting to stay with the familiar patterns, to stay with what you know. So I love that courage is the first word on your book. I love that it's courage that had you birth this book as well.
Yeah, courage is, I think life is a series of expansions and contractions. And the more you push out, the more you kind of have to come back. And I spent many nights or many days just in my room while I was traveling, because there was so much expansion happening. I really had to come back and regroup. And rethink of what, and sometimes it was even silly, like to go out the door. Sometimes it was just overwhelming just to get out of the room after you've kind of gone into this, quiet space. So
before you went away in that year-long trip in the middle of 2016, and you came back a year ago, now that you've had a year to assess and kind of feel, do you the way that you approach business and working with people and just helping other entrepreneurs evolve, the person that went away before that year-long to the person that's now here, has something shifted for you?
That's a really interesting question, because I think I put myself into such discomfort that I'm okay with that now. Like I almost thrive in discomfort and I'm constantly seeking what the next calling is. And I'm really paying attention to the calling and able to manage my fear and manage my second guessing and manage all that other, that all the negativity that might percolate up around it. So it's brought me great courage. And I feel now more than anything that I'm ready to be called to whatever. Like I can take on whatever. Yeah. That is served up to me. I'm very much a servant of God, so.
And of course your business is called Get Real.
Get Real, exactly.
Yes, Get Real. And I'm actually wanting to talk to Janet afterwards about my branding and my business and my books that are coming out. So I feel that God sent you to me as well, that we can have it, because I'm looking for information and knowledge right now for the next phase that I'm giving birth to. Very scary, and I'm having to have lots of courage. Yeah. So I think God actually put you right smack in front of me today so that I have someone I can talk to as well. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
I've been guided. I was telling you a funny story earlier about how I went to a powwow yesterday, and I had this crazy idea that I would rent an RV or buy an RV and travel across Canada and bring knowledge to remote Native communities.
Wow.
I don't know where that came from, but it just sort of came up. And I walked up to this booth at one of the educational institutes in North Bay, Ontario, and I said, I had this vision, and I explained it to her, and the woman, her jaw dropped on the ground. And she said, my boss just last week told me that he was looking for somebody to drive an RV across Canada to remote Native communities and share education. And I thought, wow, that's pretty fast, Wow. So I think the lesson, that I want people to take out of the book and that of life, and is to, when you have the courage to step forward and do something, things fall into place much easier. It's not always so much of a struggle.
And if you just say, hey, I need help, but this is overwhelming me. Yes. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Absolutely. Any of those questions up to the heavens, the answers appear. And very often they appear, with people turning up that has the knowledge and expertise to say, hey, let me help you now. Let's make this happen. Yeah. All right, so would you like to explore that vision that you've had through a little color reading?
Sure.
Would you like to do that?
That would be fun.
Okay. So what kind of questions do you have about this vision? What would you like to dig a bit deeper into?
I'm not sure about the RV.
It's the loo, right? Tell me it's that Portaloo.
Exactly. I guess the question to me was really much bigger, as I want to give back to our Aboriginal community in Canada. I think it's time, and it's something that's percolating inside of me for many, many years. And now it's time. And I guess it's really kind of, what does that look like? And I'm just starting to dream into this vision at this point.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Okay, so first bottle is going to be, what does this vision look like? So pick a bottle that you feel this is what the vision looks like and pop it on the board. Okay. On our lighting box.
Oh boy.
And it can be any of those ones behind you, Janet, or it can be the little narrow ones as well.
I have a hard time picking nail polish colors.
Oh dear.
Never mind what my life is going to look like. Holy cow. Okay, well, let's go with this one here. This is calling me.
That is bottle number 24. And it is magenta at the top, and it is olive green at the bottom. So what I want to actually do is, just so that the audience is aware of it, we have a message in a bottle manual. And these messages are actually for free with the bottle on my website and on the Color Mirrors website. And at any time you feel that you want to pick a bottle to get some advice, you can go and look up your bottle messages on the website for free. All right. Okay. So I'm going to just read to you bottle 24, because Melissa Jolly, who actually makes the system, this is her system that she launched it in November 2001. This is the original message that came through with this particular bottle. It's called Love, Money and Creativity.
So
we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this in context of the vision, right? There is a time when it seems appropriate to look at the tapestry of your life and recognize that every stitch was perfect, the light ones and the dark ones. Mm-hmm. The design as woven by you as the creator was in fact a design so cosmically, profoundly perfect that it leaves you breathless. You have to now acknowledge that your conscious mind could not have worked out such a perfect plan, which always took you to the perfect place at the perfect time, to get you exactly to this point in time with all the gifts and understanding that you now have. So well done.
Wow.
You are a master weaver, and your work is a work of art.
Oh.
Begin to acknowledge that the main part of the design was love, and where love shows in the design is where there's a glow to the design that attracts others. So look at how the threads of love are woven through the design, and what an important part of the picture that is. Now is the time to own the blessings of love, money, and creativity in your life, and to own the gifts of the past that got you there. This is your heritage from past lifetimes. You have earned it all.
I love that. Yay!
So
it's getting me warm just thinking about it.
So this vision is brilliant because it is saying that the vision that you have and it's giving back, it's your heritage from past lifetimes. So it's obviously lifetimes as a native as well.
Perhaps,
and that's a calling coming up and saying, let's take education and let's take some knowledge back to where you're from. So I love that. And of course, in numerology, in this bottle, the 2 plus 4 makes 6, and 6 is the number of Venus, the planet of love. And it says that everything will happen for you if you just do it all from love, and all the synchronistic, all the things always turn up that you're going to need to make this happen. It doesn't answer the question about the RV though. That we'll have to pick another bottle for that. So pick another bottle.
Okay, well this one looks like it might be more RV like. Or trend, I don't know. Well, there's sort of a theme going on here, I'm seeing.
It's magenta at the top, the same as 24, but it's got gold at the bottom. It's 19. Okay, so this one says initiate. This one people tend to pick when they've ended a long initiation and a long struggle in their life is at an end, which means the next phase is going to literally be about this love, money, and creativity energy. All right, and this is the Prince of Heaven. So my feeling here is, if you were going to do the RV thing, have you thought of doing it with a partner?
Well, yeah, maybe somebody, a driver, maybe a cameraman, so we can shoot it and make it a TV show.
Yes,
and call it wisdom sharing or something.
Yes,
shared wisdom.
I honestly think that if you open up to the idea that you don't have to do this on your own, if you're going to do an RV journey, that and you open up to support and especially a male support by the looks of it, because it's a Prince of Heaven. It's not the Princess of Heaven, right? That you will have some kind of support to help you turn this into a project that's going to end up. Because it's good having the love stuff, but you need to be making money as well. You do need to. Yeah. So the documentation process is going to be very important, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So if anybody out there can drive an RV and you can do camera work and you have a link to some kind of media production, you want to let the world know that Janet's ready to go out and do this incredible project.
Yes.
Pick another one. Let's see what's going to happen. I love
Getting
it.
all flustered. Kind of like the lightness of this.
So this, I'm going to just pick it up and give it a little stir. Just shake it up a little bit. This is a pearl bottle. It's a brand, you can see there's no number on it.
Oh, I can make it what I want?
It's a brand, of pearls of wisdom.
Oh, okay.
The pearls of wisdom that you find in the oyster. And you go through all the hard knocks and it turned out to be this incredible precious stone. Okay. So that's a little bit about what this energy is. So I'm going to just read it to you. It's one of the brand new bottles. So this one is called the Yellow Gold Pearl. What's nice about the yellow and gold mix is where the ego meets the soul and they work together. Because a lot of spiritual teachings tell you to eradicate your ego, and it's a horrible thing and you mustn't be ego, but your ego is what keeps you alive. You can't be without it. It's what gives you personality. It's what gives you flavor, right? So the yellow and the gold comes together. Gold is authentic power and yellow is the ego power, but now it comes together as one beautiful precious gem. So here's a couple of words for you. Every bit of traditional value is indicated by this pearl, as humans value both pearls and gold, and the combination shows us why. Gold is the color of enlightenment and yellow is the color of joy.
Nice.
And ascension is a byproduct of joy. There is no other or quicker way to lift the vibration on the planet and within ourselves than to find joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, and again, your book, you've got the happiness here.
It's all about the happiness.
You've really encompassed that. Janet's amazing, guys. You've got to get her book and you've got to connect with her, okay? She's really got it. She's got it, okay? So the only way into heaven is like a small child, and what a small child has that we have lost is a state of wonder with all that exists. You know, when children see a flower or a butterfly for the first time, they go like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we've forgotten to be childlike and to remember those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure on your travels, you were reminded of that a lot.
Yes. Every day. Every day. Yeah.
The pearls ask that we find that place inside ourselves where there is constant awe at the totally miraculous state of the universe.
Mm.
From the tiniest cell busily carrying out a perfect cycle of life to everything that happens in our lives, the people we meet and the events that occur, everything is a total miracle, and all of it deserves our awe.
Mm.
When we begin to look at the world with childlike amazement, we will find that bubble of joy inside at the total perfection that brought us to this life and this world. And when we begin to feel the joy, we set up a vibration that will eventually touch everyone and everything around us. And then they will feel and spread that feeling. And in the end, just by loving each moment, we will find that we have shifted the planet right into the next dimension.
I am so covered in goosebumps right now. That is incredible.
This is very powerful stuff, Janet, because I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day around the anger that still sits in the tribes about their past, and how the resolution and the healing, that's still a process.
Mm-hmm,
and I have a feeling that you're taking joy back through the education, through the reconnection with love. And you're documenting and making it that it's important, and that you're going to let the rest of the world see through the camera work, hopefully, what
with a really hot cameraman.
With a really hot cameraman, apparently. And if it's you, put in the comments box. We want to know. That I think this is part of your heritage. I think this is part of the calling, your soul calling to serve.
I'm feeling that, absolutely. Wow, that's powerful. Thank you.
There's no doubt here that this is an avenue to definitely begin to explore.
Yeah.
There's nothing here that says maybe not, or that there's a hidden agenda, or the intention here is very, very clear from your soul. Because when we pull these bottles out and you pick them, it's your soul speaking to you. This is the language of light, communicating, and there is nothing here. I mean, this is awesome, Janet.
Let's get started.
Have you got the RV yet?
Well, no, I've been shopping. Okay. But if there's two of us, that might change. I might have to get a bigger one.
It might, and you need camera. You need lots of equipment space,
right,
and good chargers, and we know a little bit about that here in the studio. Okay. Now, if you've got other questions around this that you would like to explore?
Timing, I guess. Timing is kind of an
we can do.
Interesting
Pick a
one
bottle
right now.
Ooh, pick a bottle.
Another bottle.
Because this system encompasses numerology as well, it does give us the opportunity to look at timing when we mix the color and the numerology, symbology together. Yeah,
I like this guy.
There we go. 28. Okay, so this is bottle 28, and it's called New Beginnings. And 2 + 8 makes
10.
10. So in 10 months' time, you'll be set. So you're going to do lots of deep planning, lots of deep preparation. You're going to bring the team together. You're going to bring the equipment together, because the turquoise says the equipment, the technology equipment has to be there. The yellow talks about planning, the course preparation, the curriculum, making a connection with the educational authorities that you're going to be partnering with. So it's going to be a 10-month process, and then you should be ready to have to set out, because this is the sun setting on the turquoise waters. So it's about a new beginning and starting up.
So starting next summer.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. The sun coming up. Yeah. How does that sit with you?
That sounds perfect, actually.
You do, and honestly, you do need the 10. You do need the 10 the 10 months to do the preparation if you're going to do this properly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And you must know there's going to have to be letters sent ahead of time to ask permission to go in onto the land and to talk to the elders and to make the connections. So it's definitely going to be
I'm going to need a team to do that with.
You're going to need help to do it all on your own. To do it all is you can do this as a soulpreneur kind of thing, where you can just go out by yourself as a soul worker and go in and do work. But in the end of it, you might have a book written about it, which you've done here, which is great. But I think the whole thing here speaks about the next level up. It's about now documenting it visually as well.
Yeah. I know I'm paying attention to all the signs and just moving forward with what needs to move forward.
Yeah. So this is bigger than you thought, I think.
I think it's starting to become bigger than I actually didn't really have a preconceived idea of what it was, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like if you just let go of all the mental kind of having to figure it out piece, which is what I discovered over my lifetime as well, is that you can, try and figure it out yourself, or you just let the messages tell you where to go. And when you get aligned, it's much more clear. Yeah.
Oh, I love these. Any other questions?
Oh, well, I have another little decision to make around selling my house or not selling my house, and I feel I've had my house for 25 years, and I've raised my son there, and it's been beautiful and great, but I'm also now thinking that maybe it's time to let go of that past, move on so I can do, the new calling. So I'm just trying to figure out the timing of how that works and when that works. And
pick a bottle.
Yeah?
Any bottle.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting all my questions answered. This one. This is a really interesting one.
So that is G34, and it is gold on top of very, very deep magenta. And it's one of the bottles that feature in our anchors. There's 3 of them that feature in the anchor system, and they actually answer all the big financial questions.
Oh, get out.
Because there's 3 of them, and they are all to do with the big finances.
Wow, this is so incredible.
When they came into the system and I started working with them, I found myself turning into becoming an investor, becoming an art collector, becoming just doing things that was completely out of my comfort zone when it came to money. Because us spiritual people, we kind of just float along life and hope God pays the bills, right? and this one really anchored me in and said, you've actually got to work with the energies on the planet.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
So I'm going to read that one to you. It's G34. Now you'll see that that's got a G in front of it, and these were just normal numbers.
Right.
The G stands for Gaia, and it stands for the next level of awareness.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have bottles number 1 to 36, then we have bottles number G1 to G36. So that whenever the G bottles come in, we're talking at looking at things from a really higher level. So G34 is called the anchor, and it's pale gold over deep magenta. The pale gold in this bottle relates to the richness of the gold we have in our solar plexus and our whole being, and reminds us that we're already deeply connected to our authentic divine selves. It opens the path to pure, clear, rich awareness of our divine mastery. With its deep magenta, the color of divine love, this bottle also connects us with Archangel Metatron. So he's going to be the one you want to talk to about this.
Okay.
Linking our divine selves to the archangelic realms and drawing in all the support from the universal sources of love that are available to us. This bottle proclaims loudly that we are divinely loved and supported, and wherever we turn, there are angels, huge angels, waiting to help us on this journey of bringing heaven to earth. These colors connect us with the golden Gaia bottles and remind us that on this journey of birthing the golden age, we have always been held very securely in the deep magenta of divine love. So that's that deep color at the bottom.
Beautiful.
And if you are drawn to these colors, you are likely to have been part of the first wave of star beings that arrived to help the planet move into the 5th dimension. This journey has not been particularly easy, as there was so little support when you landed on the planet. No one knew who you were and what an immense destiny you had. This is finally your time. And in this bottle you can now come to know without a doubt that you are divinely loved.
Oh, that's beautiful. And who's the archangel again?
Metatron.
Metatron. Okay.
He's the overlighting archangel of the Calamara system. And he's the essence that we sprayed before we started the show. And I said to you, he just aligns and anchors us, because whenever we do the show, my darlings, for you out there, we spray the Metatron essence on our palms like that, and we rub it and everybody in the set, we all breathe it in. And it just aligns us. It takes all the nerves away, and it allows us to just be clear and concise and allow our spirit to speak through us.
So I'm picking up then that I'm just going to be clear when it's the right time.
Yes. Intuitively, what I'm picking up is consider the option of renting it out and having that income come in to keep your investment in the home. The other alternative that they're showing me not to let go 100%. So what does not letting go 100% means? It means putting somebody in to pay rent, and that you have that income coming in while you're away for your year-long trip, because you're going away for another full year again, you know that. The other thing is to downsize and invest in a smaller unit that you can just have a foundation, because what they're just saying to me here is, love is your foundation, and you are a traveler and you know that, but it's nice to know you have a home to come home to.
Exactly.
So it's about not letting go 100% is what I'm getting. So I'm hoping that is useful for you.
That's perfect.
But you will know what to do, because the gold wisdom that sits there says you will tap into your own inner gold alchemical being, that wiseness inside of you, that wisdom. Wiseness isn't to my English today. That wisdom, and it's going to guide you. You can't make a wrong decision.
Okay.
Whatever you decide is going to be all right.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Moira. That's
then
amazing.
I have to just say something else. You picked 34, which is the whale number.
The whale?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And we were talking earlier when Janet came on the show. We were talking about the colours, that this new outfit that you bought, which has the whale colours.
Let me tell you that. Can I share the story about how I got to the whale? So after I had the conversation with the woman about the RV and sharing the Education Institute, I went around the powwow to the vendors and thought, I want to buy something to ground this moment, and I found this beautiful scarf, which is native art, and it is the whale totem, which means travel, adventure, communication.
Yes.
And it's your totem.
It is. If you turn around on that second shelf behind you, do you see the blue? That's it. Pick it up. Show the audience. This is the whale. Look at the colours you're wearing. She's wearing the whale.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Oh my goodness, synchronistic. I think it's all
beautiful.
Literally go.
Yeah,
with
thank you to the divine for that.
All right, what we're going to do now is give our audience their pick of the week. So we're just going to take these off for a moment, and we are going to reveal our audience's pick. So whoever picked bottle number 1, my darlings, you have gone and picked the same bottle as our fabulous guest Janet, and it's very close to the whale again.
Yes.
C5. And C stands for chakra, and it is the throat chakra. So this is saying that speak your truth and just channel spirit and let it speak through you.
Absolutely.
And whatever comes out your mouth, don't go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or try and, well, wish I'd not said it, because God is literally speaking through you at this point in time. So my darlings, this is a week for you out there who've picked number 1. Don't be afraid to say what feels like, oh, I wonder why am I saying this? Why am I suddenly saying I want to sell my house, or I want to start a new business, or just you're saying it for a reason. It's almost as if your soul is speaking through you and encouraging you to go in a different direction. All right. So C5 is about clearly speaking up and speaking the truth, because it's about truth and trusting the voice. All right. And if there's any one of you getting any speaking engagement, being asked to be on shows, just say yes and turn up, all right? Speak it. Say yes and turn up. You did. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 2. Okay, so those of you who've picked number 2, you've picked my pick of the week. And it is 25, turquoise and yellow. You'll see that it's kind of the reverse of the one you picked in your reading, which was 28. And it's just the turquoise is now on top and the yellow at the bottom. This number 25 is called trust. So for those of you who picked number 2, my darlings, whatever chaos is unfolding in your life today, this week, you have got to go back on trust. Don't run away, and don't go and put your head under the covers. Just take a deep breath and go, I trust the process. I trust the process I'm in, because it's leading me to a good resolution to a solution to the problem. All right, just trust. If you go into panic and if you go into again putting covers over your head, it's not going to do you any good. Okay, face it, deal with it, trust the process. Push through the birth pains, as Melissa would say to me at this point.
And no second guessing.
No second guessing. No,
and
just
trust
do it.
your voice. How's that?
Trust your voice. I love. This is something that often happens when the colors come together and 3 different people pick it. It forms a storyboard at the end. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Okay, so those of you picked number 3. You have picked producer Michael's bottle. And I'm sorry. It's Uranus number 4. Isn't that just a yucky bottle?
I don't think it's yucky at all. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We have very few people who actually really love this bottle. We had our young girl, the youngest girl I ever interviewed on the show. She also picked this bottle and she just loved it. And I was like, really? So number 4 is Uranus, and it says this week there's going to come a lightning decision or change in your life. So Uranus energy steps in when we've been resisting something, when we've been going no, instead of that yes, and trusting and going with the flow. And Uranus comes in and says the universe is now coming in to say to you, it has got to happen. God is in charge. You can't say no any longer. God is saying yes on your behalf. So it's kind of like a rug being pulled out from underneath you and saying you just got to, it's just going to happen. Okay. So those of you who are in the our number 3s, you have it a little bit more difficult this coming week because you're going to have to let your resistance go and say yes to something you've been avoiding saying yes to and turning up for.
And if you showed up for this show, if you're watching this show, does it mean that you can tie that story together for yourself as well? Because I'm sort of doing that with my story, is that my voice is coming out, and there's trust that I have to, the universe is giving me a direction, and then I have to just
it's gonna
go
change
for it.
Anyway.
My life is changing.
It's going to change anyway. You can't stop it. Yes.
Oh, that's incredible.
So this has been an amazing episode.
Awesome.
Episode 7. 7 is the color of turquoise. I wore turquoise especially today. And you're such a deeply, deeply connected spiritual being that I am just so thrilled that you were here, Janet.
Thank you.
I really want to say I appreciate you being here and saying yes, trusting the process and turning up. Yes. And I hope that we've been of some use to you.
Yes, absolutely. It's been an incredible experience. I had no idea what to expect. And I am a warrior and I show up, and I hope that your audience has really taken that energy away as well. It's a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful system to be able to read into that and create that story of your life with color. It's really something quite phenomenal.
And please, connect with your website.
Yes. I have actually put together a series of happy habit cards. So if you want to increase your happiness level in your life, you can go to my website. It's nicelife.com or .ca, sorry. nicelife.ca. Okay. And I took the book and while I was away traveling, I started a little pet project on this website. So there's a lot of stories about how to gain happiness, what happiness is, how we can bring more happiness into our lives.
And that's been like a hobby and a nice
a little passion project.
Right. So there's two ways you can connect with Janet. You can connect through the nicelife.com.ca and also through the business getrealbranding.com.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So there's 2 ways you can connect with it. Please go and check out our website. So beautiful. And see if you can get hold of this book. It's actually I had a little look. There's a few hints about if you are traveling, what to avoid as well, and what to know. So it's very educational as well as a great fun read. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a fun read. It was fun to write it, and it's full of really good lessons about life and travel and everything else. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and share. If you care about the show, please share throughout the coming week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See ya.